Welcome back inside of the Morris Pollard Gymnasium here at Speedway High School. My name is Greg Rakestraw. Thanks to the folks from Speedway Community TV. Let me hang out with Ron Probst as we get to do kind of on a once-a-year basis here on Speedway Community Television, the ISC Sports Network. Coach, it is always good to spend time with you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you for coming tonight. I know you've had a busy week and a busy weekend coming ahead of you, too. So I was joking with Coach Bennett before the game. I almost had to look at Google Maps how to get back here. We've only been back twice since the middle of January. And it's been a tough year, a challenging year. But you know, I tell you this, and I'll probably mention it several times tonight, our kids play hard. And the year started off really with a six-man rotation, Greg, and that was tough. We had a game against North Montgomery earlier in the year where we had 4 starters foul out, so you can imagine that went triple overtime. But since then, Coach has put in some younger guys. We got a freshman off the bench who will come in, a sophomore probably. So the bench has been lengthened a little bit more. We lost a tough one last Friday night at Cecina, lost by 1 point on a late call. But again, they play hard, and I guarantee you they'll put on a show tonight and against a very good Triton Central team.
As you know, hope always springs eternal. And once you get past tonight, the record is 0-0. The draw, frankly, for Speedway, not the toughest of draws. First of all, the draw geography was great. They avoided the sectional at Shortridge that has both Cathedral and Annex and a very good Purdue Poly downtown team. Now, there's an outstanding Northview team at that Cascade sectional. Cascade is the second best record of that group. Speedway played them to a 4-point game earlier this year. So I think if this team plays well tonight, whether they'll sneak in and win against Triton Central is a different story. But there is a legitimate chance for some good results next week at Cascade.
You know, you could write a book, I could write a book on the times in the history where the team that wasn't supposed to win all of a sudden caught fire at the end and took off. And just, you know, everybody has, as you said, hope eternal.
You and I both know of a guy named Bill Zick that took a 1-win Jay County team in the regular season to a regional during his coaching career as well. Mark James, again, as Chuck pointed out, he is 5 games away from coaching 1,000 in Indiana high school basketball, something Cliff Hawkins accomplished, by the way, last week at Triton. What do you expect from the Tigers tonight? Well,
we know going back in his 43 years of coaching, they're going to play defense, and that's where it starts. They give up 43 points a game. They don't average a lot, but it's a very, I did watch them play a little bit against Monrovia, a very disciplined team. So I think from our standpoint, and I say our standpoint, the Speedway standpoint, this really kind of plays into our hand, although turnovers has been a problem for us throughout the year. The coach has alluded to several times. But so I look for a mid-scoring game and hopefully a good game.
So again, starting lineups getting ready to be introduced for each of these two teams. We'll bring them to you coming up in a matter of moments as well. But we were remarking about this off the air. One of the true joys of being in this gymnasium is hearing this band perform before the game. And as I joke with Ron, when you know you're playing in front of a house of 300,000 every May, you better have your P's and Q's together as a band. They're sounding great in the pregame warm-ups. National anthem to be played coming up here in a matter of moments. 2-man senior class being recognized for Speedway, and we showed you the senior night festivities recognizing 2 players, 2 managers, and 3 cheerleaders as well. Those 2 seniors that both will start. Camden Bennett, of course, youngest son of head coach Chuck Bennett, and Matt Craig, the other senior starter for this Speedway Sparkplug basketball team as well. From a scoring standpoint, Drew Metallic, the leading scorer of this group at over 20 points a game for the junior. His older brother Nate unfortunately saw his college season come to him earlier this evening. So unfortunately the Little Giants will not be able to repeat their three-peat as the NCAC conference champions. Let's listen in to our national anthem. Great job as expected. And let's get you the starting five. First of all, for the visitors from Triton Central, who come in at 12-9 on the season. Again, they are in the 2A classification, part of a talented sectional that it will be at Crystal House, which you don't know the new name of that high school. That is the old Manual High School that will take place. Sam Collier, 6'1" senior. Gavin Morgan, 6-foot senior. Eli Sego, 6-foot junior, and he is kind of the straw that stirs the drink for this Triton Central team. Silas Bear is their center, a 6'5" senior, and Grant Long, a 6'3" junior, leads the way for the Tigers of Triton Central. Double-digit scores are Sego at 17 points a game, 4 rebounds and 3 assists a contest, and Blair, their center, at 12.5 points and 5 rebounds a contest. Now the 5-man starting group for the Speedway Sparkplugs. Again, Drew Metallic, the 6'6" junior, the only double-digit per game scorer at 20.5 points a contest, 75% from the free throw line. He is also the team's leading rebounder at 7 boards a game. He is flanked by the 2 seniors in Camden Bennett. Camden averaging 9 points a contest, 4.5 rebounds a game, shooting 35% from three-point range on the season. The other senior starter is Matt Craig. Matt, 5.5 points a contest, shooting 60% from the field, does not venture outside the arc, and shoots 79% from the free throw line, 4 rebounds a contest. Joining them, a pair of juniors, Kendrick Kaiser at 5'11". Kaiser is the team's 3rd leading scorer at 8 points a contest, 64% from the line, 3.5 boards a contest for Kendrick as well. And A.J. Lund rounds out the starting 5. He has played in every Speedway game so far this season, 7.5 points a contest, 33% from three-point range. Not getting the free throw line very often. He's 8 of 13. Ron, what are you kind of keying on in this game, especially for the Sparkplugs?
Sparkplugs, as I talked to Coach Bennett last week before the game, and his biggest concern in the last 8 or 9 games has been turnovers. I think if we limit the number of turnovers, we don't shoot the ball particularly well, 41% from the field, only 29% from 3. You mentioned A.J. Lund played in all 20 games. A.J. is one guy that can give us a boost. A.J. is a good shooter from the perimeter. It's got to be a set shot. But if he gets hot, that certainly would spell success for us.
The Sparkplugs have the basketball, and again, a little bit of a trap off the ball screen here by Triton Central. And Mark James, their head coach, already in the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. Metallic can't get it to go from 15 feet, and the rebound corralled by Gavin Morgan for Triton Central. 54 points a game is what Triton Central puts together. Last year's 16 wins in Mark's first season in control of the Triton Central program. Of course, Northwestern Shelby County. The 4 public schools in the Indiana Crossroads Conference will all move to the Hoosier Legends next year. Drive does not go by Sam Collier. But effectively, this is the last conference game played in this iteration of the ICC. 4 of the teams in total league are in action tonight. Hand check foul called by Mike Fox. Lucky to have both Mike and Sean West on tonight's crew. Mike still calls a handful of college basketball games from time to time, and Sean, who is our baseline official, is a college soccer official in addition to what he does from a basketball standpoint. Pull up 3 does not go. That's Lund that took that one and missed it. Eli Sego with the rebound for Triton Central.
Speedway, primarily a man-to-man defense, but since we were short on the bench this year, Coach Bennett's gone to a little bit more zone than he usually has.
Shot blocked, rebound corralled. That one missed too. That was Blair that got both looks. Good block by the Plugs, and Speedway hanging early, scoreless, 90 seconds in.
The one advantage we've had a lot of games this year, we have shot more free throws than a lot of our opponents. So you asked me earlier about some keys. If we can get to the line, that would give us a boost as well.
67% from the line. Bennett lets fire from 3. That does not go. Again, Bennett by percentage of the regular rotation players, the best shooter from distance. A little bit of an out-of-control drive that time by Triton Central. And while the offense isn't going yet for Speedway, their defense has been spot on to start this game. And that'll be a blocking foul. That is called against Sego. His first foul and team foul number 2.
Drew Metallic not seeing anything up to this point that we've not seen this so far this year. A lot of teams will run at him, run and jump at him, try to have him give the ball up.
4-out offense here for the Sparkplugs. Metallic from 23 left that one short. And the long rebound tracked down by Triton Central. Good looking backdoor cut. Seago, the benefactor, and he's fouled. First bucket of the game could lead to an old-fashioned three-point play.
Great backdoor cut. Again, that's kind of something that if you've watched Coach James over the last 43 years, kind of something fundamentally on both ends of the court. Very good.
Of course, Mark primarily known for his days at Franklin Central, but did go to Ben Davis and led the Giants to the 2017 state championship. Seago connects on the free throw. Early 3-0 lead for the visitors. Kaiser on the drive. Metallic, an open look from the corner. Could not get it to go. He's not taking a bad shot yet.
No.
Just can't get one to drop at this point. I think an offense has been a struggle at times. Speedway averaging 53 points again. Again, defense has been solid so far. There's that backdoor cut again. Again, trying to use that aggression of the defense against him. Seago has both baskets and both of the same general variety. Seago, a 53% free throw or field goal shooter on the year.
And he's also played, I think this is his third year playing varsity basketball. Played as a freshman, did a nice job.
There's the backdoor cut variety by Speedway. Good read, and Matt Craig gets the game's first basket.
A little bit of taste of the Triton Central medicine right there. Great back cut.
Seeing some kind of old school flex offense tendencies in today's game so far. So midway through this opening quarter, Triton Central enjoying a 5-2 advantage. A little zone look here by Speedway. 2-1-2 variety. Triton Central, a solid three-point shooting team. Not taking one yet. And that will be a baseline violation. Little contact, Metallic, but not enough to draw the whistle. Triton Central turnover.
If you visited Pollard Gymnasium back when Coach Pollard was coaching, saw a lot of matchup zone defense. And for years, I know when I coached, we played that. When you played the bigger boys, you had something a little bit different than a man-to-man.
Spent 9 years as the play-by-play voice for IUPUI on the radio and saw about 95% possessions of matchup zone from Ron Hunter. He's a big fan of that. Plugs looking to make it back-to-back buckets on the drive. Bennett's fouled. And Camden Bennett will shoot 2 free throws. Bennett on the season, 62% from the line. He has gotten there more than any other player not named Drew Metallic on the season. Bennett's older brothers both in attendance. These days both at Purdue University. And this one is good for Cam. And Cam is going to play golf. Chuck and I were talking off there about some of the places he's looking at.
Camden works at the Brickyard Crossing during the summer, part-time job.
And you know that not just because you're well-researched, but also
because I work over there with him.
A fellow co-worker at times during the summer as well.
One of the great golf courses in the state.
I would agree with that. Bennett makes them both. I pick up an occasional check from the Speedway myself in the month of May.
Yeah.
The last 4 points belong to the Plugs. 5-4 in favor of Triton Central. And tempo-wise, these teams match each other pretty well. Rather on sense of foul that time by Lund, just a hand check. And Mark James will call a 30-second timeout. Not only has Mark been a great coach for decades, but he had some great sons and daughters wanting to play college basketball as well. Boys played at the small college level. Daughter played Division I, playing at what was IUPUI at the time. Now, of course, IU Indianapolis. Mark was at Ben Davis for 7 seasons, including that state championship year.
He presently is the 4th highest win total of active coaches in Indiana. Do you know the first three?
So J.R. Holmes would be one. I think, is Cliff Hawkins just above him?
He's below. He's below the 4.
Gene Miller.
Gene Miller, very good.
Would be 2 or 3 of that group.
He's 2.
Okay.
Third one I looked at, I agreed with it, obviously. I didn't think of it right away.
Bill Patrick's no longer coaching, correct?
No.
Okay. That person would be?
Dave McCullough,
of
presently
course,
at Connersville.
who is going into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Of course, that's going to be on March 19th. Can't make the banquet. You can watch it live on the ISC Sports Network. Turnover committed by Triton Central. Metallica miss, but as Coach talked about, Vincent Jean picks up the loose change. Just couldn't find a way to put it away.
On a team that has everybody plays hard, not a good defensive move right there, but Vincent Jean plays as hard or harder than anybody on this team. A good spark coming off the bench.
Jean, a 5'10 junior. That was Cale Butler that got the basket to go. Deep 3 for the Plugs. Misses on the save attempt. Last touch by Gavin Morgan, out of bounds to Speedway.
Deep was kind of the understatement there. It might have been a little bit closer to us than it was the goal, to be honest with you. But again, A.J. Lunn is a guy that has capabilities of running threes, a lot of them, and he's just not done a lot recently. But he's capable.
Good look by Metallic. Keller Sox is in there now. Mention a freshman getting some time at just 5'7". Metallic contested 3, misses everything, but Sox on the hustle. Metallic, second time, still not going.
Sox is a freshman that's got some playing time recently as coach tried to lengthen the bench.
I'm not sure as a 5'7" freshman, you're big enough to wear number 55. We need to get him a smaller number next year.
Yeah, the number's bigger than
he is, yes. Again, the Sparkplugs hanging around this 12-win Triton Central Ball Club. Catch and shoot from the post. That does not go. And while the jump shots don't go for Metallic, he's doing a good job on both the rebound and the outlet, but just missed the layup. But again, Jean keeps the possession alive. That was Lund that missed the runner. Metallic on the step through, and he'll get 2 free throws. And Coach, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. If the jump shot's not falling, get to the basket.
Especially Drew. Drew's a good free throw shooter. And when, as you said, when they're not falling, let's get some easy ones.
75% is Metallic on the season. And misses that one. And he is part of a very deep junior class, 6 of them on this varsity roster. Morgan will check back in. Long does the same. Max Kraus getting some run as well right now for Triton Central. Already 8 have played so far. And that one is good for Metallic, and he is officially on the board tonight. Triton Central last played last Friday, lost at Beech Grove 45-37. And these two teams, Beech Grove, Monrovia, making the move to the new Hoosier Legends Conference next year, joined immediately out of the gate by Tri-West and Indian Creek. And Greenwood and Shelbyville will join the year after. On the drive, wave it off. Offensive foul. Charge taken by Bennett.
I'm sure coaching staff keeps stats on charges, but I would say from watching all the games I have, Camden Bennett probably leads the team and takes charges.
Is there any surprise that the coach's kid is that way?
Not
That's always the way it's supposed to work, right?
Yes.
I know. I can tell you who keeps track of that stuff. Our buddy Lee Evans at HickoryHusker.com. Because 3 years ago, he tracked down the fact that Jake Davis now plays at Illinois from Cathedral, is the state's leader all time in charges taken. Again, Metallic gets to the rim, just can't get it to go, but Speedway outstanding on the glass, getting second chances so far. And they've made just 1 field goal, but they're only down by 2. The freshman trying to put him in front, misses wide left, but you've heard this before. Rebound Speedway. Bennett has his shot altered. He'll stick with it a second time and got it to go.
Great possession.
Well, frankly, because of extra shots, a lengthy possession for Speedway. Down to 4, down to 3. I'm not sure Triton Central realizes it. They got to go. They don't.
I don't think Coach James is going to be very happy in the huddle.
7-7, we're tied. And again, is it the prettiest girl at the ball right now for Speedway? No, but you're competing with a team that's over 500. Again, this is exactly what you want to see going into the postseason.
Sure, and we've played 3 different defenses here in the first quarter. And I think against a team like Triton Central that's really not looking to run up and down the floor a lot, that's really beneficial. We start man-to-man, played some 2-3, and I think the last possession they went to a 3-2. The other thing is Speedway not turning the ball over tonight yet. Hopefully, I say yet, hopefully that'll continue. You know, heard you mention Coach James, I talked about his streak. I looked up, it's a 7-team sectional they're in at Crystal House. Coach James has 627 career wins. The other 6 coaches have 192 combined.
Other teams in that group, Eastern Hancock probably is the favorite of that group. Yeah. Crystal House is pretty good as well, 14 wins. Kip Indy Legacy is a brand new IHSAA member. They have 15 wins. Triton Central is 12-9, but they're 1-3 against sectional foes. Heritage Christian Cecina and the Ravens of Irvington Prep round out the field in that one.
If you're a Triton Central fan, you will be playing Tuesday night. First game against Heritage Christian, 6 o'clock.
Who is a team they beat by 14 when they got together about 5 or 6 weeks ago. So Braden Hoover is in now for Triton Central. Ball knocked away and another turnover forced. Good trap here by Triton Central. Bennett turns down the 3. Good slip. Craig, one dribble to get in position, just missed it, but again, second chance opportunity. Bennett misses, but Metallic at 6-6. Put back and a foul. Well, for as good as you feel about this as Speedway because of all the little things you're doing well, it's the exact opposite how you're feeling right now if you're Triton Central.
Triton Central, a little bit slow. They're getting really beat bad on the defensive boards. Haven't kept track of it, but Speedway's got to have at least 5 or 6 offensive rebounds. It's probably led to about 3 or 4 points.
Yeah, 2 wins in their last 6 for Triton Central. Wins against Covenant Christian and Monrovia. You look at some of the teams that Speedway has competed with. Those are kind of teams like Triton Central that are teams that are north of 500.
Yeah.
Speaks to the schedule that Chuck Bennett plays on a year-in, year-out basis.
Yeah, we competed really well at Lebanon. Just go down the list. We've had some games that weren't, but a lot of the games we have competed very well with.
And you're catching me at the right time when I pretty much have everybody's record memorized for the pairing show last week. So Lebanon's about a 16-win team so far this year. All out of bounds to Triton Central. They've thrown some different lineups out there. Good looking back cut. The left hand does not go. And again, smallest player on the floor in socks does his job and keeps it away. On the drive, off the window, will not go. Again, the second chance look for Speedway. Bennett lines it up. Well, unfortunately, there's a new wave of bricks here in Speedway, but coming from the three-point shots for the Sparkplugs. But they've used that to build the foundation to go get loose change and find themselves up by 3. And Triton Central has not scored in a while.
Triton Central has not scored since the 2:30 mark of the first quarter.
And Seago, who had their first 2 buckets, is currently on the bench.
But this style right now that you're watching offensively, this is a trademark of Coach James. Very patient.
On the shot blocked again. Just great physical defense. That's Craig on the block. Metallic pulls from 14. Again, it's a great shot.
Yes.
And if the threes aren't going, then again, you've got that advantage at 6-6 on the pull. You'll take that every time down.
He's getting good looks.
Yeah.
He really is.
Deep three, that does not go, but there is a second chance look. Sneaking in to get it was Sam Collier, his first field goal. Collier on the season, played in every game for Triton Central. Collier averaging 4 points a game. Isolation for Bennett. Drives trying to square it and got bailed out by the foul. This has been very much a minimal foul game, and amount of zone that Speedway plays certainly leads to that. Reach in against Grant Long that time. Second foul against the Tigers of the quarter. Coming in for Triton Central, Jackson Faust, 6'2" sophomore.
And again, Keller Sox probably didn't stuff the sheet with numbers here, but to give A.J. Lund a break, to give anybody a break has been a big improvement for Speedway.
Craig, the long two does not go, and a rare one-shot possession for Speedway. And a chance for Triton Central to go back in front.
Triton Central on the season shooting 36% from three-point range, 58% from two, so you would think at some point they're going to hit some shots, but defensively, Sparkplug's done a great job so far.
And frankly, Coach, they've not looked that much for threes at this juncture. In other words, Speedway has covered their shooters so far. In the lower scoring, even though that's the MO of a Mark James team, it's probably better for Speedway tonight. You talked about it. This team has played with effort. Even if without results, they played with effort all season long. We have shot clocks in the building. I guarantee you they'll not be turned on tonight. That should have been a layup.
Yep.
Instead, it will be the equivalent of an incomplete pass, a turnover. By my count, the fourth. And now we're going to see a timeout taken by Speedway. It'll be one of a 30-second variety. If you're Chuck Bennett, what are you seeing as having you call a 30 there?
I think we've had so many games this year that we've had streaks of runs by the opponent team. And we've quite honestly have not been able to plug the dike on those. We just cannot stop those. So I think with 4 minutes to go here, we're up 10-9. I don't think we're really going to change anything, but it's more or less, hey, let's win this 4 minutes here. Let's stay right where we're at, gain a few. Let's not give them a chance to get a big run going, because that really has, in the games that we've lost, even in the tighter games, we've just not been able to stop those runs.
So both teams have used a 30-second timeout here in the first 12 minutes of the half. Final night of the regular season. A lot of teams have already finished either on Tuesday or Thursday this week. Because of having now some 4- and 5-team sectionals, especially in 4A, there are a smattering of games that will take place tomorrow. But for the most part, a lot of teams are out watching, scouting, or relaxing this evening.
I always liked as coach to finish the season before Friday night, especially if you drew the Tuesday night game. Get in there now.
Metallic listens to instructions, puts that one up in, and say that before all of his shots going forward. Metallic's got 6, a free throw to make it 7.
And that might be just what he needs to get going.
Foul called against Silas Blair. That's the 6'5" senior center and second leading scorer for Triton Central. Picks up his second. Metallic with 7. He has made 3 of 4 from the line. It is his second and 1 he has completed so far. And we have not seen either team make a 3-point field goal in this game. Back to the zone now for Speedway. And they have switched their defense as well. Just vacating the lane in time was Butler. And Seago continues to sit for Triton Central. Turnover.
Got a rebound now.
Lund fouled, won't go, but he'll get 2 free throws. And there is a very popular Bob Knight quote that I can't quote verbatim on this format about the motivational factors of the bench. Let's see if, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. Let's see if maybe a message is being sent to Seago here, as he's been sitting for some time.
Yeah. And never truer than that statement.
Yeah, there's a transmission and wiring that's involved in all of that, but a lot of old heads are nodding their head right now as we're making that reference. So Lund hits the first of two. As we talked about, doesn't get there very often. These are free throws 14 and 15 of the season for the junior. He knocks them both down. Now 10 of 15 from the stripe this year. And the free throw line has been kind to Speedway. Again, something, Ron, you talked about. They do very well.
We do, and we shoot the ball pretty well. I think 67% from the line, so important for us to get there.
Right idea. Catch made by Rex Laurie, who's getting some minutes. Turns down the shot. That does not go. And I think that's going to be a foul. Let's see, on a hold against Speedway is going to be the call. Looks like Craig is the guilty party. Well, good to see Rex getting some minutes. His father, Brady, played at both Franklin High School and Franklin College. Pretty good defense attorney, by the way, in case you ever need the assistance.
Hopefully I won't.
I wasn't directing at you, just the general public that would be listening. There's Laurie. One dribble to get collected. Left hand is good.
Good interior passing.
Laurie playing in just his 10th game of the season. Averages a point a contest. The turn by Craig does not go, and Laurie draws the foul, and you see everybody on the bench stand up for Triton Central. That may be kind of the motivation they're looking for in tonight's game.
Something I like at any level, particularly high school, is, you know, Matt missed a shot there, Matt Craig, but yet when the opposing player fell down on the floor, he was the first one there to try to help him up. Good sportsmanship. You can play like that and still be competitive. As I say, play with emotion, but don't be emotional.
Triton Central looking to make it back-to-back successful trips. Again, Laurie draws an immediate double. Great hands by Gene. That zone really giving Triton Central fits. And I can guarantee you, every team, if they see them starting against this zone, there might be a few game plans changed for the sectional because of what's happening. There is tonight a rare turnover committed by Speedway.
Yeah, it was last week before the Tri-West game. I asked on this 8-game road trip that we were on what he saw from his team that he didn't like, what he saw from his team that he liked. And one thing he mentioned that he didn't like was the fact that and a lot of these turnovers in that streak had been live ball turnovers that led to a lot of quick looks and layups. And so far tonight, as you mentioned, not a lot of that, which has been good against a good defensive team as well.
Ron, to your point, in the NBA, they called this the rodeo road trip, playing 8 consecutive games in the road as Speedway did. They opened the Marion County tournament against Decatur Central in this building January 14th. They did not play a home game until Tommy Strine brought his Tri-West Bruins, who will be a conference foe next year. And the coaching job that Tommy did at Tri-West, because not much was expected. They graduated a lot off of last year's team. Tri-West came in here and won easily, and Tri-West in their final year in the Sagamore went 7-0 and swept the league.
They are more of a perimeter team. They have a 6'8" post player who doesn't score a lot, but their perimeter shooters are very good, great ball handlers, and they're deep. That's going to be a really good sectional as well. Yeah,
they're going to end with Garin Catholic and Danville. Speaking of Danville, Brian Barber going for his 500th win tonight. 3 is good. First one made by either side. Jackson Faust, and for all the things that Speedway has done well, it is just a 1-point lead here late in the second quarter. Both teams have been patient. Metallic up and over defenders and got fouled on the elbow. He'll shoot 2. Again, Metallic plays like a guard, but also recognizing he's got a serious size advantage, especially with Blair out of the game with 2 fouls, and recognized and went to the low block immediately.
And I think that's one thing that's helped our defense as well. We played against a lot of good post people this year. The post player from, I forgot his name, from Cardinal Ritter, 6'8" sophomore, really good. So a little bit easier tonight to be able to spread the defense out, put a little bit more pressure on the ball.
And speaking of Ritter, they're playing at Tri-West to wrap up the regular season tonight. And while Metallic's jump shot has left him tonight, his free throw form has been exquisite. He's got 9 points. He is 5 of 6 from the line to get there. Back to the zone for Speedway, and another great set of hands by Lund on the takeaway. Step through off the window, could not follow,
board.
But the game rewards toughness, as Brad Stevens likes to say. Metallic gets down the floor, gets the loose change, and I would venture at least half of Speedway's points have been second chance points so far. Sometimes your best offense is just go get it off the rim.
I've seen teams like that. Northwest a couple years ago had a team like that, but when they were still in. Hopefully, last shot here.
The high school less than a mile from Speedway High School, now Northwest Middle School. So the Sparkplugs should take a 5-point lead. No fouls to give here for Triton Central. They're earning the 2-shot penalty. Metallic stepped through, missed it, but foul called from behind the play, and Metallic. Sean West on the whistle. He'll get 2.
I think if the camera right now is on Coach James, you'd kind of get the feeling of what this first half has been for like Triton Central. Hands on his forehead right now, bend over. Locker room might be, and as you said, they've won 2 of their last 6, so it's not like they've been playing great recently.
And you did the math quickly. Tonight it is his 996th career game he has coached, and on his list of favorites, it would be much closer to 996 than number 1, given how things have gone in this half for Triton Central. Metallic now with 13. They're going to check him out just to avoid any sort of foul with 1.6 remaining. And frankly, Speedway's got 2 fouls to give here if they choose. Won't have to worry about it, as that line drive rocket nearly bounced in. But Speedway leads by a touchdown. Again, 2-win Speedway has a 7-point lead against 12-win Triton Central. Still 16 minutes left to play. Sparkplug trying to end the regular season with good note. Heading to next week's sectional at Cascade. Halftime coverage comes your way next as you're watching Speedway Sparkplug Basketball on Speedway Community TV and the ISC Sports Network.
Link's favorite band memories are pep band competitions because of the friendly and fun atmosphere. Ladies and gentlemen, Link Straub. Next senior, Sabrina Tetmeyer. Sabrina is escorted by mom, sibling Jay, and her grandparents. Her dad and little sister Georgia always walk with her in spirit, and they always will. She's a percussionist in the band and jazz band, a choir member, and a 500 regiment drum major. Next year, Sabrina will be attending Butler University and will be a student in their exploratory studies program. Her favorite band memory is when Mr. Clampett would conduct the school fight song after the football team won a home game. Our next senior, Catherine Marcos. She's a flute player and part of the choir. She's escorted by the Fluties. Next year, she'll be freelancing as a digital artist. Her favorite band memory is when her bestie, Valerie, gave her a chicken sandwich during summer band. Our next senior is Rock Sturgeon. Rock is a flute player and a field captain. He's escorted by mom, dad, sisters, and grandparents. Next year, Rock will be studying aerospace engineering at the University of Alabama in Huntsville. Their favorite memory was winning first place in the pep band competition in his sophomore year. Ladies and gentlemen, Rock Sturgeon. Eris Blair is next. Eris is escorted by her mom, Danielle, dad, Jason, and little brother, Andrew. She's a trumpet player in the band. Next year, she'll be going to college to study linguistics and computer science at an undecided university. Her favorite memory is learning to play and march this summer with my friend and brother in trumpet section get-togethers at Aaron's house. Ladies and gentlemen, Eris Blair. Next senior is Alistair Kurtz. Alistair is escorted by his mom, Jackie, and dad, Tim. He plays tenor and alto sax in band and jazz band and is a field captain for the 500 Regiment. Next year, he'll be going to major in chemical engineering at Rose-Hulman. Favorite memory was when we won a top 16 spot at the State Fair and got to play the night show. Ladies and gentlemen, Alistair Kurtz. Next senior this evening, Aaron Tepp. Aaron is escorted by mom, Eileen, dad, Tim, and her sister, Megan. She plays trumpet in the band and jazz band. Next year, she'll be studying mechanical engineering technology at the University of Dayton and also joining the band program. Her favorite band memory was getting to pie one of the directors in the face after a long band camp day. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Tepp. Benjamin Wall is next. Ben is escorted by his cousin. He plays baritone in band and trombone in jazz band. After graduation, he plans on getting employment in the restaurant industry. His favorite memory is getting top 16 his freshman year. Benjamin Wall, ladies and gentlemen. Moses Lamy is our next senior. Moses is escorted by his godmother, Atra Miller. Moses plays trumpet and mellophone and is also in the choir. He'll be going to Purdue University to study occupational and environmental health sciences next year. His favorite band memory is when we took our St. Louis trip last year. Ladies and gentlemen, Moses Lamy. Valerie Burney is next. Val is escorted by her mom and her best friend, Kat. She plays flute in our band, and next year she's going to an undecided college for art and animation. Her favorite memories are performing at the state fair competitions. Ladies and gentlemen, Valerie Burney. Our next senior this evening is Jacob Randolph. Jacob's escorted by his mom, dad, and siblings. Jacob plays trombone in band and jazz band. He's undecided at this time for next year, but his favorite memory is when we made the top 16 at the state fair. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Randolph. Adalia Inman is next. Adalia is escorted by her parents and Gus. She plays trumpet in the band, and she's undecided about next year. Adalia Inman. Cameron Bradley is our next senior. Cameron is escorted by mom, siblings, nephew, and brother-in-law. Cameron is part of our color guard and has been forming with the band since 4th grade. Next year, she'll be taking an apprenticeship with a sheet metal welding union and then going on to be a traveling welder. Her favorite memory is the feeling of them announcing that we had gotten the top 16 at the state fair in 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, Cameron Bradley. Betty Miller is next. Betty is escorted by her mom, dad, grandparents, and siblings. She plays clarinet in the band and has been part of the color guard. She wants to go to college to be a neonatal nurse next year. Her favorite memory of band is making the top 16 and being the last students wearing the old 500 Regiment uniform. She's also part of the band and guard. Ladies and gentlemen, Betty Miller. Next up, Angie Hill. Angie's escorted by dad, Kevin Hill, and mom, China Holman. She's a percussionist in our band and jazz band and a drum major for the 500 Regiment. Next year, she'll be most likely attending Butler University to study performing arts. She doesn't have a particular favorite memory. However, she always loved making all of her new friends into long-term friends through music and dance. Ladies and gentlemen, Angie Hill. Aiden Schultz is our next senior. Aiden is escorted by mom, dad, and sister and girlfriend. Aiden plays percussion for the band. He'll be doing an internship through Ivy Tech for welding next year. His favorite memory is getting to play the drum set for the pep band competition in his junior year. Ladies and gentlemen, Aiden Schultz. Arlette Vasquez is our next senior. She's escorted by mom, stepfather, and 2 younger sisters. She's a member of the color guard and choir. Next year, she'll be going to pre-med first, then enlisting in the Army National Guard after college. Her favorite band memory was in her sophomore year and winter guard. She was able to use a rifle for the first time in a show and not just out of sight of practice. Hey, seniors, thank you for the last 4 years. All of you have made this time amazing with your dedication, excitement, and overall wonderful attitude. We wish you future success, and most of all, you will be missed. Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for our band and color guard seniors.
Couple minutes left to go before we get to third quarter action at the Morris Pollard Gymnasium. So far the action's been on the Speedway side of the ledger. Plugs lead it by a score of 21-14. Overall, Ron, your thoughts on, again, a very hard-working, gritty first half for Coach Bennett's squad.
Absolutely. Just looking at the statistics, Speedway 5 for 30 from the field, 11 for 12 from the line. The difference right there. That and offensive rebound, 10 offensive rebounds, 6 second chance points. Triton Central got to the line one time, only 16 field goal attempts. A great half, probably the best half we've played for a while, and of course it's going to be important to keep that up. I don't know if we can duplicate the offensive rebounding that we've had in the first half, but even if we can't, tonight there's just an air of kind of confidence or kind of a second drive that I've not seen us with a lot this year. And so that's going to be important. I mean, Coach Bennett, yeah, I've seen teams, as you have too. One of them happened the other Sunday at Bloomington when one team was up at 11 or 12 at halftime, and wow, how fast did that go away? So those things, you're always in the back of your mind, but tonight might be a little bit different. Senior night, and I think these guys want to go out on a good winning note. Again,
that 5 of 30 number, and you're leading by 7 is staggering. It shows just how big a control that they have had in terms of the offensive glass. Other kind of hidden stat, no points off turnovers for Triton Central because Speedway literally turned it over one time. You talked about live ball turnovers. That was a dead ball turnover, but they have taken fantastic care of the basketball tonight, have the Sparkplugs.
They have. You know, when that shot was taken at the end of the first half, I'm going like, boy, that could be a changer. Ever since I saw that shot Michigan State hit the other night at the end of the game. So those are little things that a little bit out of control. And I really like what Coach Izzo said after that game. He goes, you know what? That was a lucky shot, but we deserve to win this game. And right now, to be quite honest with you, and I think if you talk to Coach James, he would say the same thing. After 16 minutes, he would say, right now, Speedway deserves to win this game. And I think that's probably the challenge that he's going to face with his team at halftime in the locker room.
Metallic 13, Cam Bennett 4, A.J. Lund 2, Matt Craig 2. Seago 5, but did not play much in the half. 3 for Faust, 2 for Butler, Collier, and Laurie to round out the points for Triton Central. Sparkplugs have the basketball to begin half number 2, and great set play. Frankly, we've seen both teams have their best success on those backdoor cuts. Good quick hand by Triton Central to break up what would have been a layup.
You mentioned earlier Bob Knight quote about the bench. Well, another one of his quotes is how important the first 4 minutes of a half is, and probably more important for Speedway than it is Triton Central, excuse me.
You've coached against all the tries in your career, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've made the full rounds.
The tries and the Centrals. And
you have to come back since they renamed La Crosse Tri-Township now. You got to add that to the resume as well. And a foul going to be called against Triton Central. That'll be against Eli Seago. And Seago picks up his third. So he may have been sentenced because of 2 fouls, frankly. We did not catch that in the first half. My apologies. But Seago stays out with 3 fouls.
Seago shooting 40% from 3 from the field, 85% from the line. So obviously the cog that makes Triton Central go.
Craig on the drive, off the square, lay it up and in. Craig gets his second field goal. Lead is 9. Two-three look this time down by Speedway. They played more zone than man. They have played different zones. They played some man. Whatever it has been, it has worked. 6 of 16 is what Triton Central shot with 6 turnovers. Seago catch and shoot on the elbow. Does not go. Rebound tipped by Grant Long. And those looks didn't happen in the first half. There's a 3 that does not go. 1 made 3 so far. That is by Jackson Faust. And frankly, that last 5 seconds, that is the microcosm of Triton Central's night. Yeah. Open 3, guy had a rebound and dropped it.
Yeah. And I really think the fact that Triton Central's not an up and down team, the fact that Speedway's changed defenses really has caught them maybe off guard, but certainly having to reset every time has been a challenge for them.
Metallic taken away. Second Speedway turnover. Free points for Seago, does not miss that. 7 for Seago, and the lead is 7 for Speedway. Metallic trying to post after the threes were not falling early. And Speedway turns it over again. And at the other end, missed it.
Fortunate.
That was Blair that could not finish. Metallic creates space. Good look that would not go. Again, most of his 13 have come from the line. What a
nice
seal.
Screen. Nice screen by number 40.
And you and I saw the same thing as Kraus laid it up and in. Long created the path. And all of a sudden now, a little more pep in the step of the Tigers.
I don't think if I was Coach Bennett, I'd be waiting real long. If this got closer, I think I'd use one of my timeouts.
Triton Central used 2 in the first half. Speedway used 1. Metallic almost tied up. Good inside out. Craig to Metallic. His 3, no. Sparkplugs have yet to make a 3-point field goal. On average, they make just shy of 5 a game. After missing a layup, he turns one down, and good thing he did because Kraus lines up a triple, and here comes that timeout for Speedway. Full timeout taken by the Sparkplugs. 23-21 was a 9-point lead, is quickly down to 2.
I think Coach James was a little bit miffed that I forgot. I didn't see who the passer was.
It was Blair who missed the layup the last time he shot. That's why he gave that up.
When he gave that up, Coach James kind of made a face, but it all turned out for them.
Yeah, Kraus, who averages 9 points a game, knocked that one down. Kraus on the season from three-point range, an outstanding three-point shooter at 43%. And about a 4-player rotation in terms of guys that kind of have that freedom to take three-point shots for this Triton Central team.
Triton Central, 8 sectionals in their history. 3 of them were single class at Shelbyville. 1989, they won the regional, made it to the semi-state, and got beat by a team that had a couple players by the name of, well, they were from Lawrence North, so you might be able to figure that out.
Todd Leary and the late Eric Montross, in
exactly.
case you weren't paying attention.
And you also mentioning about the coaching or whatever. 1998, Triton Central on this floor won the first year of class basketball sectional. It was the last game I coached here. It was retirement. So you say, or they say coaches don't remember the wins as much as they do the losses. I can certainly attest to that.
Good drive and kick. Vincent Jean for 3, and then Craig couldn't keep it in play. Ends up finding player on the opposite jersey, and here come the Tigers. Offensive foul. Tough call against Triton Central.
Yep, that was.
So that goes against Cale Butler, his second foul. All of a sudden, 3 turnovers in this half against Speedway after 1. Craig has the lone basket so far, and should have had the second basket.
I'd like to see him do that more. He's shoots pretty well. He shoots well from the line. I don't want that for him to be disappointed in that miss.
Finger roll down the lane. That one goes for Butler. What was a 9-point lead has been erased after a 14-point first half. Triton Central has scored the last 9. So if you tell Speedway going into the game they'd have a chance to make this a game in the second half, I think they'd take it. But Kaiser turns it over for the lead from 17. Missed everything, and no block shot there. Simply a miss by Long. Metallic will check back in. Sox will check back in as well. Long, by the way, 68% shooter on the season, but that might be out of his range. He has not attempted a 3-point shot all year.
Again, I mentioned before, but these are the moments in games where have really hurt Speedway. The last couple of possessions have not been what you would call really good shots in terms of a game where you've let a 9-point lead slip. You want to get your best here.
6 of the losses this year for Speedway of the single-digit variety. And coming in 2-18, good drive, just could not finish. I do think it was touched by Triton Central. Yep. That is the case. Craig will have a seat as Jean will come back in. And a pretty tight 7-man rotation so far for the Plugs tonight. Which is not a lot, but you can get by just fine with 7, especially playing as much zone as they have this evening. Metallic trying to play the role of creator. Gene undeterred by his earlier miss. Metallic keeps it alive. Plugs have scored just 1 field goal in the first 5+ minutes of this quarter. 3, wing, yes sir, Seago with 10, and Triton Central is in front for the first time this half.
Cream's starting to rise just a little.
Well, again, Seago's absence because of 2 first-half fouls, obviously noticeable for Triton Central. Gene going to be fouled on the floor, 3rd team foul. No free throws there. That goes against Connor McClure. First time we have called his name tonight. 10 different players of the 12 in uniform have played. Make it 11 of 12 have played so far for Triton Central. Sox for 3. Does not get the roll.
Good look.
And on the season, Speedway 29% from 3-point range. They're 29 percentage points below that tonight. The pull, the floater. And again, this is such a different team when Seago is on the floor. Only played about the first 4 or 5 minutes because of those 2 fouls.
There we go.
That runner is good for A.J. Lund, his first field goal. That stops what was a 14-0 spurt by Triton Central. They have literally matched their first half scoring total. They have now gone above it and a chance for a 4-point play as Butler is fouled as he makes a 3.
Yeah, the wheels are turning right now for Triton Central, and they've made them turn. It's not something that they just lucked into because Speedway's played poorly. It's a different team after halftime. Even after that first possession when they missed that easy shot, Coach James was very optimistic, or at least up clapping his hands and spurring his team on, because that was probably the most emotion and the most effort they played the whole first half.
Seago, who has played with 3 fouls for a good chunk of this quarter, now will sit. He's replaced by Faust, who has an earlier 3-pointer. Butler from the free throw line, a 62% shooter, a sophomore, and splashes that one home. So Butler's got 8. He is their 2nd leading scorer tonight behind Seago. It was a 9-point lead. It is an 18-2 run. Lund trying to fix that and finally gets one to go. First made 3 this evening for Speedway.
And again, I know AJ's had a hard time this year with the threes, but I still deep down think that with a team that it really is deficient in a lot of areas offensively, he's somebody that can give the club's Plugs a big boost.
Good inside out here. Krause has made a 3 this quarter, but turns that one down.
There we go.
Just the 2nd Triton Central turnover of the half. Here's Cam Bennett. 3 again. Sox. The law of averages catching up in a good way for the Sparkplugs from 3-point range, and it's back to a 1-point game.
You know, for anybody, hitting those threes is good. For a freshman, really has only played 5 or 6 games here, Behemoth. Gaining confidence, making a good defensive play right there.
Sometimes you're too young to know any better. That is the case for Sox tonight. Good ball movement against the zone. See if the Tigers will hold for 1 here. That's what Mark James is reminding his team. Again, as Seago sits with 3 fouls, you'd think he would come back in to start the 4th. Ball's got to go up. Teammate in time, just off the tip in. If it would have gone, would have been late. Well, a lot transpired in the 3rd quarter.
Absolutely.
Speedway got it to a 9-point lead, then all of a sudden a 14-0 spurt by Triton Central. But now Speedway has kind of answered the first Triton Central haymakers of the game, and it's a 1-point game going to quarter 4.
Plugs were down 32-25, and again, if you've seen a lot of games this year, you're just kind of going the oh no, waiting for that moment of the 6th or 8th point spurt, but Sparkplug's answered right there with 6 points at the end of the half, or the end of the quarter. A great sign for Chuck Bennett, a great sign.
And Triton Central play at Crystal House Manual Tuesday night, and they're sectional to 2A level, sectional 43, kind of one of two Indianapolis area 2A sectionals. Just like there are two, well, only three if not four, 3A Indianapolis area sectionals. Sectional 25, which has, I say Indianapolis area, it's at Frankfurt, it's at Case Arena, but it has Lebanon, Danville, Tri-West, Guerin, Catholic are all part of that group. Then you have sectional 26, which is as compact of a sectional as you will have in the state. And if you've not been to a game at Shortridge's Gymnasium, you're missing out. That's a great place to watch a game at 34th Meridian. So too is Cascade, where the Plugs are heading. Again, Northview is the favorite there. They're 22-1 heading into that sectional. Then in 28 is where you have New Pal and Julius Gizzi, who last night became the all-time leading scorer in New Pal history, boys or girls, which means he's the leading scorer in the Gizzi family history. Runner is up and good by Seago. So Seago now with 14, he averages 17 a game.
New Pal winning the state championship football, looking to make it a double in basketball.
They have a very legitimate chance of doing that. And they're one of those really good 4A teams locally that got dropped in enrollment to 3A, along with Cathedral and Attucks. Simply put, 3A has never been as good as it's been this year. And all of a sudden, it looks like they're thrown in the ocean for the Speedway Sparkplugs. They've made their last three from behind the arc.
Second wind.
It's Kaiser's first bucket of the game. And for Kaiser, that is just his fifth made three of the season.
Kaiser's strength, the left-handed, taking the ball to the basket.
Good job by Metallic using that 6'6" frame. Butler, though, misses it, and Metallic owns the glass. Good spin move, draws contact, and one. His first points of the half, his third chance to complete an and one, and back in front goes Speedway.
You could see when he got that ball off the break, when he got to the 10-second line, I didn't see the spin move coming, but you knew that ball was going to the basket, which he has to do. He's very good at the line. It's 6'6", he shoots over a lot of people.
Metallic, again, while the jump shot's not been falling, he has done everything else well, including from the free throw line. So now the run continues for Speedway. In the lane, shot does not go, and the team rebound category is pro Speedway as well. And
yes.
That's kind of like Tony Dungy talking about field goal defense in the National Football League. Sometimes you just get the breaks off the hands of Grant Long.
Triton Central has missed a lot of shots inside the lane tonight. I think probably shots that throughout the season they've hit.
Coming in at 12-9. Good crisp ball movement here by Speedway. Just 5 turnovers for the game, 4 of those in the third quarter. No need to be in a hurry.
Nope.
Metallic will take. Metallic misses. This has not found the rhythm from there all night long. And on the season, a 33% three-point shooter. He makes about 2 a game, so frankly, he's due.
Yeah.
Seago just threw that one on the rim and fouled.
Yeah.
Seago was 16. Again, he missed most of the first half due to fouls. He's got a chance to tie it from the line.
Seago on this team, you can tell, experience. He's a difference maker.
Again, 17 points, 4.5 rebounds, 3 assists a game. 53% from the field, 40% from three-point range, and 85% from the line. His second and one he's completed. And a timeout taken by Coach Bennett and Speedway. Tie game with 5:22 left to go.
Good timeout by Coach Bennett. again, you put yourself in a position, if before the game started, you would have said if there's 5:22 to go in the game and we got a 37-all tie, I think Coach Bennett would have gone for that. So at this point, got to make plays. Got to run good offense. I mean, I know it's a cliche, but good shots, no second shots on their end.
Want to recognize our officials for tonight's game: Mike Fox, Sean West, Darren Munn, our three-man crew for tonight's activities.
3 good ones.
Yep. So Bennett will trigger the inbounds pass here for Speedway. Speedway is off until Friday night. They drew the bye in a 6-team sectional. Likely will face Cascade in the sectional semifinal. Northview the favorite, other half of the bracket, as are Edgewood and Indianapolis, Washington.
Fouls are even up here 1-1 in the quarter.
Sox the drive, missed it, but Metallic goes and gets it. Left hand gets the roll. And again, that's been Speedway's best offense all night. Speedway's largest lead has been 9. Triton Central briefly had a 7-point lead at the end of the third quarter. Now the zone morphs to a bit of a 1-2-2 look here from Speedway.
I think now, too, is the point in the game, no matter what defense you're playing, you want to know where 23 is. I know they have other players that can score, but if you're going to get beat, you don't want to get beat by somebody that's has done it before.
Good job finding a soft spot in that zone, just missed it, but rebound by Long. And again, 2 defenders, to your point, Ron, immediately fly at Seago. This is Collier. 3 for the lead from the corner is short, and Metallic owns the glass. That was Blair, the center, that let it fly, but then Seago gets the save. Trailer in the lane misses. Weak side glass, and nowhere for Collier to go. Seago for the lead. No. And Metallic just rips that away. And Chuck Bennett immediately puts his hands up and says,
yes,
slow down. Lund for 3. Did not get the memo.
Pretty quick.
Kaiser draws the assignment. Seago goes right by him. Foul going to be called on Bennett. So Seago will shoot 2, and as mentioned, he is an 85% free throw shooter.
Triton Central is a team in the second half getting the ball to the paint a lot more than they did in the first half. I know Seago was out of the game in the first half, but just the entire team is getting the ball inside the paint, which is leading to really good shots from the perimeter.
Timeout called by Triton Central to be of a full variety. Both teams now have 3 timeouts remaining, or 2 timeouts remaining, I should say, and all of them will be of the full with 3:07 left to go in regulation.
Now, this has been about 5 or 6 years ago. That was last year's. Speedway had a really nice team that year, but we got to the last game of the season, and I think LaPel was still in our conference at that time. And they came in at number 1 in the state in 2A, and Speedway beat them in the last game of the season. So I think kind of a carryover. I don't know if Triton Central does in that ranking, but it really was a boost getting us into the sectional. And we made it to the final game that year. I believe we got beat by Heritage Christian. But boy, these are the games. I don't say win or lose because you don't want to lose, but these are the kinds of games for any team can be a springboard into the big week next week.
Free throws for Seago. That LaPel win you're talking about came 7 years ago in 2018. 67-62. Seago to the line.
So we have a 3-minute game right now.
Yep. almost assume he's going to hit both of these.
Yeah, chances are it's going to be tied.
When you see your teammates off the free throw line, that's a pretty good sign. He's got 18. Butler's got 8. Blair, who's their second leading scorer, has not scored tonight for Triton Central. As advertised, Seago makes them both, tied at 39. Kaiser, pretty move, and gravity, his friend, just fell over the rim.
Back to his zone.
And Seago will get some additional attention out of that. Everybody flies at Seago when he's on one side of the floor. Good three-point shooter here, missed it. Good rebound, missed. Long board, scrap for it, touch last by Speedway. That was Blair that had a look that would not fall. His struggles from the field continue.
Mentioned it earlier, but Jordan Deaver, the varsity assistant for Triton Central, who was once the girls basketball coach here at Speedway, won a sectional.
Outstanding player at East Central. Who played for Dave Disborough back then. Then played for John Grimes at Marion University. Briefly the interim boys basketball coach at Southport as well. Under 2 to play.
Don't leave.
So he thought about it and just kind of pulled it back. Drive and dish. Seago steps into one for the lead. Got it.
Yep.
Very patient offense. Pays dividends for Triton Central. Seago puts the Tigers in front by 1. Bennett on senior night trying to make it happen. He does, and gets the whistle to boot.
I know he's hit some three-pointers throughout the year, but that's his game right there, taking the ball to the basket and getting to the foul line.
Collier commits the foul, his second. Bennett made 2 free throws in the first half. He is a 62% free throw shooter. Good looking for him there. Timeout going to be called by Speedway, full timeout. So again, you're calling this timeout to set up what you want to do defensively. So look into the huddle for me. What do you think Speedway comes out and does from a defensive perspective?
I don't know what we're going to be strategically wise. I don't know if we're going to be in a man or zone. But whatever it is, my full emphasis is on Seago. And there's other players on the team who can score, obviously. But my second emphasis is on one shot. And those are the two things, whatever defense we're in, those are the two things I'm harping on.
Do you see much in the way of junk defense ever from Chuck? In other words, might you throw a box and one in a scenario like this?
We have this year, and I'm trying to think who it was that we played that against. It'll come to me before the night's over, hopefully. But we have.
We got 74 seconds. We have plenty of time.
Okay, let me go with that. But we have this year. And you know what? Those are things that throughout the course of a year, and I know, let's say we did do that. You would hope by game 2022 that any team would have seen everything in the season that you would see going into the sectional. And I'm sure at some point Triton Central has seen that. Honestly, I doubt if we would do that, but it is something in the back pocket Coach Bennett has.
Maybe a little full court pickup here by Speedway, kind of given how they're aligned. Or maybe it's just a freshman in Keller socks, just late to get the other end of the floor. Both those things are possible.
And 2 fouls to give if you have to.
Good point. It's going to be at least full court man pickup as at least the first kind of roll of the dice. Seago breaks that, no problem. It is the freshman guarding him. It is man this time down for Speedway.
Nice.
Seago turns it down. 3 again for the lead. This one does not go, but there's the putback, and the bucket is good by Butler. He's got 10, tied at 44. Partner, do you think about holding for a last look here if you're Speedway?
I don't think we're very good at that. We got some timeouts. There was just one.
Have to burn it now, though.
My strategy would be yes, but at the same time, it's what you've practiced. I'm not sure many teams practice the whole 44 seconds. Wow, how about the fours on the scoreboard? 44, 44. We got 44 seconds, 0.4, fourth period.
Well,
that's going to be lucky for somebody.
That 4 is more than the timeouts that Speedway have, which are 0. They just took their last timeout again. Chuck had to take that to try to prevent a turnover. That may change what they're looking to do here on this last possession.
Now, back to your question. We're not a great ball handling team. I'm just trying to be completely honest here. And what I would think if we get a shot, we would take it. It would have to be a great shot. It's kind of like one of the red light, yellow light, green light situations here. It's not green light for sure. And you would hope, and that whatever we do, Triton Central is going to run 2 players at metallic, no matter what we're in.
You mentioned this last time down. Triton Central has 2 fouls to give here as well, if it gets to that point. So Metallic with the ball in his hands for Speedway.
We have run a little bit of a delay here. Now we'll run a set.
And no timeouts for Speedway. Geyser's got to find somebody with the ball, and there's the turnover. And now Triton Central can hold for a final look.
My guess is they will.
They've got 2 timeouts if they need it. Seago looking to create. Again, Speedway has fouls to give. Ball knocked away. Touch last by Sox. Sox knocked it away. And here comes the timeout for Triton Central. So 13 ticks the clock left to go and tied at 44. Well, I think it's obvious to see who is going to have the ball in his hands for Triton Central. What sort of play you drawing up here for Coach James?
Well, I think you got to go into the timeout with the understanding that it could be a man or zone. A lot of teams have an offense for either. And so my guess would be that in the Triton Central's huddle right now, okay, we're going to do this no matter what. You don't have a lot of time to figure out what defense we're in. I know when I coach, you try to have 1 or 2 things that you can do against any defense. And with a player as good as Seago, there's a lot of different things that you can do. Defensively, it'll be interesting to see if we keep the same matchup. I know Seago's quick on his feet, but Metallic's got about 4 inches on him. And we only got 13 seconds to defend. It may give you a big advantage doing that.
And 2 fouls to give here if you're Speedway.
Yes.
Seago will be the inbounds man.
And it looks now like we did change.
Seago, the slip, and it's a blocking foul. Yep, blocking foul against Speedway. Blair is fouled with 5.4 seconds left to go. Again, he has not scored tonight, but on the season, he is their 2nd leading scorer, and he is a 68% free throw shooter. And again, Speedway cannot call a timeout to set a play here either.
And it's 2 shots.
And connects. And again, this is going to sound like a broken record. Triton Central has fouls to give here.
Yeah.
And Mark Janes is saying, foul when the ball gets to 3/4 court. He's telling them right now.
Yeah.
Free throw is good. Full court pickup. No foul being given. Bennett for the win! Just couldn't get it to go, and that's the ball game.
Wow. 5 seconds ago, I don't think you really could have asked for a whole lot better shot than that. And especially from a senior.
Fantastic effort by Speedway tonight.
That was a great game, Greg. That was a really good high school game. Tough game to lose, obviously, but certainly nothing to hang your head about.
For the Sparkplugs, another close loss. They go to the postseason at 2-19. For Triton Central, had to play without their best player for most of the first half due to fouls. They found a way to get back in it. They win it by a score of 46-44. Stay tuned. Post-game coverage comes your way next as you're watching Speedway Sparkplug Basketball on Speedway Community TV and the ISC Sports Network. Welcome back for a final time here on Speedway Community TV and the ISC Sports Network. And great effort. Again, Ron, you called it. The Speedway team, they don't have the results to show for it now, 2-19. But they don't lack heart. They don't lack effort. They did not tonight. They led for a good chunk of this game. 2 free throws with 5.4 seconds left to go. Triton Central gets their 13th win. They win at 46-44. Overall, how do you sum this one up?
Well, just looking at the stats here, Speedway gets beat by 2 points, shoots 14 of 50 from the field, 28%. Yeah. But you know what? To me, that's an indicator that if I'm Chuck Bennett in the locker room right now, defense can win us some games next week. We shot 28% from the field, and we get beat by 2 points. Will we shoot 20% next week? I don't know. Let's hope we shoot better than that. But defense, we can hang our hat on the defense. Something else on the stats here that both teams combined from the line, 20 for 21 from the line. Speedway 13 for 14. And again, that's someplace that we've got to get. Sparkplugs have to get back to the line. As we said, great effort. Not the result that the Sparkplugs wanted to have, but certainly Coach James has to feel a little bit better about his team after the first half, because even though their best player was on the bench for most of the first half, it still was a lethargic half in my mind. But a lot of things to be positive about from Speedway's standpoint, coming back after getting down by 7, kind of looking like, oh, here we go again, but they didn't. So a week off now, as you said. Sparkplugs will be playing next Friday night in the sectional, and probably go over. I'm not sure how they do the practice situation. I think if you've played in the gym this year, I'm not sure you're allowed to practice. I think that's how the rule is. But I would like to take this opportunity before we leave tonight, and Coach Bennett will be up here talking a little bit with Greg afterwards. But our sponsors for all these games this year, Junco's Hollinger Racing, that's Speedway's hometown racing team. The Speedway Lions Club, American Legion Post 500, where they have the treasure hunt every Thursday that's open to the public. The Speedway Public Library and the ISC Sports Network, Local Lives Here. Also, I'd like to thank a lot of the people that have helped out here this year at this table, and also behind the scenes. Bill Stennett, Ted Howlett, Zach Taylor, Jared Allen, Nick Sturgeon, Tom Smith, Derek Dorman, and our own Fernando Flores, who does a great job. Also, obviously, Brian Pierce and Bill P., who run all this thing all the time. So a great thank you to all these people. It's our last home game of the year. But we'll be back in just a minute. Gary, Coach Bennett will be up talking to Mr. Raystraw, and we'll get his thoughts on the game.
Back for the final time this season on Speedway Community TV and the ISC Sports Network. The Sparkplugs put forth a tremendous effort, come up 2 points short against a good Triton Central team, 46-44. As promised, head coach Chuck Bennett joins us after the game. Coach, I know you're getting tired of close wins, tired of moral victories. There's a lot to love of what your kids did tonight, just not what the scoreboard said at the end of the game.
You know, I think we got third quarter, we might have made one field goal, I'm not sure, but our kids kept battling, and then you know, all of a sudden we're down 4 or 5, I think, and our kids didn't give up, and we battled back and, you know, had the lead with obviously 2 minutes to go, I think, and then missed a shot and came down, got a stop, and, you know, I have a hard time with 5.4 seconds to go, and kids are playing hard and all that, and, you know, if it's questionable, let it go, but that's okay, so it's fine. You know, because there were a lot of opportunities. We didn't rebound the ball as well in the second half as we did the first. You know, we obviously missed some shots. Drew Metallic seemed just a little bit off tonight. Usually he makes a lot of those shots, but can't fault the effort. Got the ball in. Camden Bennett goes. Maybe would have seemed like to take one more dribble, but hey, he's a senior. If he makes it, you know, it's a win. But other than that, yeah, just real proud. And as you said, there are no moral victories, but now I always tell our guys no man stands in the same river twice. The river's moved on. We've got 5 days essentially to prepare for Cascade and go do that. And like I told the kids too, they don't seed the tournament. They don't say because you're 2-19 you're not in the tournament. Cascade, could be whatever. And every year it seems like too, I know you're a historian of the game, but there'll be a team that will win a sectional that has a losing record.
Yep.
And you never expect it. And I've told our kids too, even the first one we won, when we won 3 in a row in 2012, we were actually 6-12 going into and we won 2 in the sectional. We were in the final 8 and finished with 9-13. And someone would look at our record and go, "That's awful." But to our kids' credit, they'll be ready to go. And yeah, it's tough. But I mean,
Drew Metallic, your leading scorer tonight, and again, didn't have the shots going, but did a great job of still finding a way to help your team, whether it's rebound or recognizing, hey, they're bigs out. I need to go down and post, get on the board. So, yes, you want jump shots to fall. I thought he did so many other things well to lead your team.
He went and got some good rebounds. Offensively, he went, let's see one go in. And then the shot he made left-handed after he got that offensive rebound, that's probably one of the better shots I've seen. So, but that's the type of kid he is. I mean, he's pretty good friends with my son Camden, so he's playing hard. But I thought all our kids did play hard. Our 7 kids played hard, and even our other senior Matt Craig, who rebounded really well in the first half, and then just with the lineup. And then of course we're playing a freshman in there, Keller Sox, and he's against Seago, again one of the better. But I thought we did a good job. It just didn't go the way we wanted it to, and yeah, we're disappointed because we would like to get the victory. But again, the effort. And we can prep like that for next week. Hopefully we'll get one on the road at Cascade.
Do you spend much time rehashing this with the kids, or is it all ships are going forward at this point?
All ships are going forward. I mean, kids are video kids nowadays, so it'll be up on Huddle. And our kids are pretty realistic about what's going on too. So they'll watch it, but and it's going to hurt. But at this point, I think they're ready to move on and be 0-0. At this point, they're ready to focus on Cascade. So we won't spend too much time on it. We'll actually move on to Cascade. And, I should say probably Owen Valley too.
Sure.
Again, Owen Valley, I saw them play earlier in the year, and that was a 6-point game at halftime at Cascade's place. And Owen Valley's young like us too. They started a freshman guard. They've got a couple their other best players are sophomores. So, in the tournament, you don't have to beat somebody 7 times. You just have to beat them once. And sometimes I think too, even high school kids get in a situation where, okay, we already beat them once, So I keep saying Cascade, but Owen Valley is a good opponent. And on the other side of the bracket too, not to look ahead, but Washington, I think people might underestimate them. They are very athletic. I've seen them play a couple times. They get up and guard. And of course, Edgewood, Matt Wadsworth's down there, and his teams at Whiteland were good, and he's got kids play hard. And then of course Northview, they're just good. And their guard Goff is a good player too. So, but nothing like it in Indiana. I mean, this time of the year, and I think I saw too. I think I saw once it gets to the semi-state weekend. Is that when we host? I think we're hosting like an NCAA.
Correct. So the final weekend of the high school basketball season, it's Sweet 16 at Lucas Oil Friday, 4 state championship games Saturday at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Elite 8 on Sunday at Lucas Oil.
Yeah, it's going to be, gosh, we're phenomenal. And you'll probably be at every game. You probably get in there somehow.
I'm going to settle for 3A and 4A is good enough for me.
Okay. I know you're the hardest working man in show business. Hey, if you're not even into soccer, you still doing the soccer?
Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m.
He's even if you don't like the sport, like you just listen to him talking, the passion you have and the people you bring in, seriously, that's good stuff. So, and also I know we're singing, but this guy does a lot in the community too. I remember a few years ago you went and spoke at Robin Run.
Absolutely.
And I think they took a bus to watch an Indy 11 game after they were done. So anyway, we appreciate you coming out. And I know we're getting ready to say goodbye too, but Brian Pearson, Bill P., Bill Stennett, I mean, all those guys, Flores, they've been doing this, going on almost 15 years, and just a whale of a job. And I call them Sherpas as they carry all the equipment up and down here.
Yes, they do.
They do, and get up there. So thanks to those guys and everybody in the community too. So,
Chuck, a pleasure as always. Thanks to Ron Probst for the great job he did all year long as well. Again, you can catch the Sparkplugs at Cascade, that great old gymnasium, next weekend. They know they're playing Friday. They'll take on the winner of Tuesday's game between, Cascade and Owen Valley. That is the second game, the 7:30 game out in Clayton coming up on Friday night. For Coach Bennett, for Ron Probst, and our entire Speedway Community TV crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Good night from Speedway. March is here. Thanks for joining us all season long on SCTV and the ISC Sports Network.